Hello students, welcome back to Programming in C language. Myself Sreekanth. We are discussing about types of computers, right? In the previous sessions, I explained clearly about all the different types of computers and classifications of computers like digital computers, analog computers, hybrid computers. In the digital computers with the suitable examples and purpose-wise computers, size-wise computers, and functionalities-wise computers, right? Like general purpose, special purpose, microcomputers, mini computers, programmable computers, laptops, desktop or personal computers, mainframe computers, supercomputers, and functional device like servers we discussed, workstations, embedded computers, information appliances. Okay, and also we discussed in the previous video in detail about what analog computers. So in the analog computers, there I explained what is the use of analog computers, where we are using, what are the various real-time examples computers, analog computers. Also explained about various components and suitable examples. Okay, and including types of analog computers also explained in detail. If you miss the sessions, those digital computers, analog computers, and hybrid computers with suitable examples, components, advantages. Okay, yeah, I given that link into the below description box. First go through that video. After that you come back to this video and go through the difference between today's agenda sessions. Okay, yeah, see, we are in computer fundamentals. Yes, the agenda of this session, comparison of what computer systems, like what is the difference between digital and analog computers. In exam point of view, there is a direct question, difference between digital computers and analog computers, or digital versus analog computers, with the examples. Today we try to discuss in detail the differences between digital and analog computers. Yeah, see, yeah, actually I prepared complete the table. It makes more number of slides. Yeah, in the slide main points are written, the difference between digital and analog. In the next slide are given with the difference table. Okay, you may write down in this manner, or you may also write down in the separate table. Okay, the difference table also, right? Coming to digital, as we discussed, digital computers works with what? Discrete values, or these type of system process what? Discrete data. Digital computers are working with what? Discrete values or discontinuous data. But coming to analog computers always works with what? Continuous data. It's going to be work with what? Continuous data or continuous values. These type of system what? Process continuous information or continuous data. Digital computers carry out operations on what? Binary data at a very fast rate, and it generate output in user understandable language. Okay, so even though digital computers understood only low level language or binary language or zeros and ones representation, but due to some the layer of these above instructions like compilers, interpreters, assemblers, due to this we can give the instructions what? High level language to the computer. It internally it converts high level language into machine understandable language. After processing the data, again it converts machine language into what? User understandable language. See, that we'll discuss in detail in the program fundamentals concept. What is this compiler, what is assembler, what is interpreter, and functioning of workflow of these conversions of one language into another language we'll discuss in detail in the coming session videos. Okay, and analog computers carry out operations on variable electrical signals, and it generate output in the form of what? Analog electrical signals. Digital computer represents always in the form of what? Binary format, represented by what? Zeros and ones format. Analog computer represents data as what? Physical quantities like voltage, temperature, current, speed, pressure, and so on, etc. Pressure, etc. Okay. Data flows in the form of what? Pulses. See, already explained in the digital computer, the data flows in the form of what? Clock pulses, like that. Okay, the data flows in the form of what? Clock pulses. We can measure in the form of what? On or off, 1-0 representations. But coming to analog, the data is going to be flow in the form of what? Sine waves. Okay, the data is going to be flow in the form of what? Sine waves, like that. Okay, The data is in what? Continuous format. The data flows in the form of what? Sine waves. Okay, remember these points are very important. Next, digital computers do not have so complex architectures like what? Analog computers. But analog computers have complex architecture. Digital computer shows the result in computer display screen or monitors. Like various monitors are there in monitor, like CRT monitors, LCD monitors, LED monitors, TFT monitors, like various monitors are there. So in digital computer, using those monitors, we can able to see the output, okay, in the screen. But coming to analog computer, it shows the result in the term of what? Voltage signals. Various examples of digital computers including what? Digital laptops, digital camera, digital watches. Also we discuss various sizes, right? Like micro, mini, personal computers, programmable computers. Okay, like these are all various examples of what? Digital computers. But coming to the examples of analog computers like thermometers, speedometers, simulations, some real-time examples like EAI TR10. This is what desktop analog computers, and educational analog computers, okay, polish analog computers, switching boards, analog computers like simulators, analog computers. These are all what? Various examples of what? Analog computers. See, this is what some differences between what? Digital and analog. See, already I prepared some table structured format of digital and analog. You can also add these points in the tabular format. Okay. See, digital computers basically work by counting and adding the binary digits. Okay. See, it is based on what? Counting operations. See, coming to analog computers, it work by measuring what? Analog or electrical signals. See, these digital computers is more efficient in discrete calculations. Analog computer is what? More efficient in what? Continuous calculations. Speed of digital computer is what? More than the analog computer. The speed of analog computer is what? Less, because it time taking process, right? Like it is going to be increasing or decreasing continuously. That's what comparatively digital computers, analog computers is what? Less than the digital computers. Digital computer has what? Very big memory or large volume of data we can able to store. I already explained in detail about what? Data measurement units like bits, bytes, kilobytes, gigabytes, okay, terabytes, petabytes, hexabytes, zettabytes, yottabytes, like different types of data measurement units I explained in detail in the previous video session. Okay, so in digital computers we can able to store what? Huge volume of data. Okay, coming to analog computers, comparatively digital, low or limited memory. It can perform one calculation at a time in digital computers. Analog computers works what? Parallelly. Okay, we can able to read the different kinds of the temperature, pressure, heat, like that, current, that measurements we can able to calculate parallelly. Multiple work task are simultaneously in digital computers as on and off these two steps. Okay, analog computer has what? No state. Digital computers are what? More reliable than what? Analog computers. Analog computers are what? Less reliable. It performs what? Very high speed in nature. Okay, comparatively digital computer is what? Slow. Its speed of processing is what? Very high. Its speed of processing is what? Not that much of high. Digital computer does not depends upon what? Physical variations. But analog computers what? Depends upon completely these physical variations. It provides results with a higher accuracy as compared to what? Analog computers. It provides results with what? Less accuracy as compared to what? Digital computers. Digital computers are not so difficult to use, but analog computers are what? Somewhat difficult to use. Readability of digital computer is what? Very high. Readability of analog computer is what? Low. These digital computers what? Employs digital encoding, but analog computers employs what? Analog encoding. The power consumption is what? Low in digital computers, but power consumption is what? High in analog computers. It can be used for what? General purpose devices, okay, but analog computers what? Specific purposes, special purpose devices. Digital computers are used in what? Various real-time sectors like banking, manufacturing, personal computers, and so on. but analog computers are used especially for what? Scientific and engineering applications. See, these are all what various differences between what digital computers and analog computers. Okay, so you need to write in the exam in detail about the difference between digital and analog computers. Here so many differences we discussed about what digital and analog computers, but you need to remember some major points in digital and analog computers. Like digital computers work on what? Discontinuous or discrete data. Analog computers works on what? Continuous data. You always remember this point. Digital computers carry out operations on what? Binary data at a very fast rate and generate output in user understandable language. Coming to analog computers carry out operations on what? Variable electrical signals and generate output in the form of what? Analog electrical signals. In digital computers, basically work by what? Counting and adding the binary digits. It is based on what? Counting related operations. But coming to analog computers, it works by measuring analog or electrical signals. In digital computers is more efficient in what? Discrete related calculations. Coming to analog computer is more efficient in what? Continuous calculations. Digital computers represents what? Data in a binary format like zeros and ones. Coming to analog computer, always data represented as what? Physical quantities like voltage, temperature, current, and speed, and so on. These are all what? Best examples. Digital computers are what? More accurate and reliable in nature. Analog computers are not as accurate as what? Digital computers. See, digital computers represented in the form of what? Clock pulses, but analog computers are represented in the form of what? Sine waves, just only explained. A digital computer can perform what? One calculation at a time, but coming to analog computers, what? It works parallelly at a time, simultaneously. Digital computers are used in what? Several real world sectors like banking, manufacturing, personal, reservations, booking, like everywhere in the real world environment. So many different various sectors digital computers are going to be using. But coming to analog computers are used specifically about what? Scientific and engineering applications like that. Okay, see, these are all the very major points you need to remember while writing the difference between digital and analog computers. I provided several points, but on that these differences are very important. Okay, and analog computers in the previous session videos explained clear about different types like slide rules and differential analyzers, castle clock, electronic analog computers, mechanical analog computers, pneumatic analog computers, hydraulic analog computers. Like that, I given detailed explanation about what the previous video sessions about analog computers types and components like resistors, capacitors, amplifiers, potentiometers, generators. Like I provided in detail explanation about analog computers, digital computers. You can also find out some points from the previous video sessions, but for the main points included about digital and analog computers, these differences are fair enough. Okay, yeah, that's it for the agenda of this session about difference between what? Digital and analog computers. Okay, if you really like it, make it like and subscribe my videos. Okay, thank you guys, thank you all.